All right, so we just started the first problem. Here we go. You need to know the basic equation for projectile motion. Negative 16t squared thanks to gravity, plus your initial velocity times time, plus your initial position. We use h in this case. Typically, you'll see a 0 and s. Makes no difference. So for part A, plug in the numbers. There you go. Done. Part B, determine the time at which the rocket reaches the maximum height. Maximum height. How do we figure out maximum height? Mode 5.3, and what do we look at? Your butt. You look at the vertex, people. Not your intercepts, but your vertex. So put this in mode 5.3. Let's go. Negative 16, 153, and 79. I get 10 point something, negative point something, and then more importantly, I get a maximum.
4.78125.
Yeah. It says round at where? Let's go hundredths place, I guess.
Oh, why?
So I'm going to write down the ordered pair, and then we're going to interpret it.
Wait, do we look for y maximum or x maximum?
Y or x?
Let's write down our ordered pair and then interpret it. 4.78 and 444.8, or 444.77. Let's do that.
Really?
So this is my x and this is my y, but we don't have x and y. What do we have? We have time and height. So x is actually time, and the y is the height.
Yeah.
So what, 44 or 44?
It says determine the time it reaches the maximum height and the maximum height. So this is the time, 4.78 seconds, and then 444.77 feet. Yes. Part C, for what time interval will the rocket be more than 200? Let's actually skip C and go to D, because read D. So just go run mode 5.3 again with the same exact numbers. You get T equals 10.05 or T equals negative 0.49. So obviously can't have a negative time. So after 10.05 seconds, it's going to smack that ground.
So just do it in 5.3, like you do A in 5.3 again.
Yeah, you literally do the exact same. So for part B and D, you use the same exact equation.
So you replace the.
So instead of 153 and 79, you put 4.78.
We haven't changed anything. We use the exact same information. That's why I did D before C. This time we looked at our intercepts instead of our butt.
Okay, I guess.
Now for C, we actually have to do work. It's 280 feet above the ground, so we say 280 is our height. Equals blah blah blah, negative t 16t squared plus 153 t plus 79. Make it equal 0. So I'm just do that in my calculator. Huh?
I think it's the same equation. Equals 280? Is it a 2?
It's the exact same thing here, except we set it equal to 280.
Okay, I can't see what you're writing. You're like,
That's why you listen to what I say.
I can't hear you.
Oh, then you're very out of luck. So I'm gonna do 79 minus 280. That's negative 201. I'm just shove that in the calculator. I get 7.99 and 1.57. It's both. So it says, for what time interval will the rocket be more than that above the ground? So think about this thing. It's starting up, so it's doing something like this, right? Well, it's not going below the thing. So that's what it's looking like. And then at some time, 280. Right there. So it's between those two times, right? That's above that. So between those two times, it's the x-intercept of this equation, yeah. So we put that as 280, so we basically moved our x-axis up. Above ground level, so we don't want ground level. So we include more than. So we don't include the endpoints, we put in parentheses. 1.57 all the way until 7.99.
I gotta remember to put stuff in real quick.
Yes. Interval notation, you need smallest to largest. It matters. I will take off points if you don't.
Will you won't?
I will.
What should be for the quadratic?
What?
Test is 23 questions.
I did mode 5.3. I just did 79 minus 280 in the calculator.
How many do I need to get right to get an
All of them.
All of
Just
them?
do your work, girl.
It's just like, oh, you should be like our Western Civic teacher.
Mhm.
Just give us A's.
I started putting things.
Yeah, no.
A? Because we haven't actually learned anything.
Number 2. It says determine the possible graph that this information represents. So A is greater than 0. What does that mean? A is positive, so what's that mean?
Not gonna
It's
be
opening
easy.
up. So that's out, and that's out. Now,
Positive it can't be C then, huh?
B squared and
no, that's all it tells us is opening up.
Never mind.
What is B squared minus 4AC? Anybody remember what we call that? The what?
No.
Starts with a D.
No idea.
Discriminant
What is that?
is the part that tells you what your answer is going to look like on a quadratic.
That's great.
The part underneath the radical on the quadratic formula.
You said
You know the quadratic formula? Negative B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC all divided by 2A.
you did not. No.
That's how calculator does mode 5.3. So we haven't actually used it because we just do mode 5.3.
No wonder I don't recognize it. There you go.
But that's how the calculator works. Now, the part underneath the radical will tell you, is it going to be real solutions, complex solutions, integers, what? So, if the part underneath the radical is 0, what kind of answers are you going to have? So, let me write it down. Negative B plus or minus. This is the quadratic formula. Yeah, it's charging up. My computer's getting ready to go. It's going to take off.
You're being so dramatic. Literally being so dramatic. I really.
I had no idea where the trash can was. I was like, it's either over there or over there, so I just stepped that way. Now, Bryce Aroni, Mr. San Francisco in the flesh. If this right here is 0, what's our answer going to be? It's going to be negative B plus or minus 0, so just negative B over 2A, right?
Because that's like gives us where the butt is, huh?
Yeah, doesn't give you where the butt is. It gives you where it touches the x-axis. Negative B over 2A, yes, that's also your vertex coordinate, so they're going to be the same. So that's one way to look at it. But how many of these are there? One. There's only one place where it touches the x-axis. Boom.
See, all of my
We don't know the numbers. It could be like negative 5 over 2 times 7 or something. We don't know.
all of my wrong thinking still got me the right answer because I said it would be.
What if instead of 0, This was 9. Plus or minus 3, right? So how many answers is that? That's 2 answers. So you have 2 places where it's crossing the x-axis. Now, what if it was -9? That'd be 3i, right? So you'd have 0 places where it crossed the x-axis.
That means it's like no solution.
Right, so it would be above the x-axis or below it like this. So it wouldn't touch the x-axis.
It'd be something like
Do you have some tissue like it's not gonna like scratch my nose? Until
I've got a steel toe shoe. Oh, okay.
Is that a tissue box?
no, that's the like food.
No, that above his head. In the sparkly box.
Oh,
No, that's pennies.
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 Why?
For next year, semester. Statistics. Because you're going to be needing 50 pennies each to do some statistics with them.
So you can get half a buck.
No, I'm not going to give it to you. You're going to borrow it. Actually, you're going to get your own. Anyway, a mother. So this is the cookbook problem. We just did one of these. Take a moment, set it up, do it. Go.
I lost some algae peel at work today.
I don't understand at all.
We
We're gonna fail.
Would
So
be-
bad. Even Brayden doesn't know what's going on. We're all-
I don't know what interest means.
There's no.
This is how much you
There's-
get over time.
First question. How much is she investing?
1,000.
No.
That's her royalties.
Oh,
How much is she investing?
7%, 20%, 7%, 4%,
She
X,
sets
she's
aside
investing
20% for the down.
13%, 11%.
She
11%.
invests a portion of money, so for the CD account, she like,
No. How much money is she putting?
she sets aside 20%.
So how much does she have left to
80%.
invest?
80%.
How would you put that in the calculator?
80% of that number. Of means multiply, yes.
0.8 times that number.
Would you do the percent
What
first
number?
or the number?
Doesn't matter.
Does not matter?
3 times 2 is the same as 2 times 3.
I'm double checking. I feel like you have to put stuff in order.
$9,000.
So we've got 9 G's to work with. Make a chart.
How do you do
80% of 11,250. Now you have to remember, for interest is equal to principal times rate times time. However, time is going to be 1 because it's always going to be 1 for our cases. It's either going to be annual or year or something that's going to make one year, you see? 1 year. That's why T is 1. So all we're worried about is the principal and the rate and the interest. So principal, rate, interest.
AP? What is that? A what?
What?
I equals PR T, but T's 1.
Oh, I thought that was an A.
PRT. I thought it was APR.
No, that's a whole nother, that's annual percentage rate.
You put the P and the R right next to
Yeah, I need you to get better at writing.
That's not going to happen. So you just need to get better at interpreting.
Well, I interpreted and that wasn't the correct thing.
I feel like you're the problem here.
So we did 9,000.
This times 0.8 because of that 20% that she doesn't use.
No,
80%.
80%.
If you put away 20%, how much do you have? 80%.
Yes, that.
We're definitely rubbing off on you.
Yes, you're making him stupid. Stop it. So we got some at 4%, some at 7%. And then we're going to look at our total interest at the end. Our total interest is 540.
Please, slow
Just slow
down.
down.
I'm just filling in the numbers in the chart.
Just slow down. Because I'm writing and I cannot physically hear.
Because he's not slowing down, and we're trying to understand instead of sitting there.
And so.
Instead of 5.
So I just plugged in the numbers from the problem. 4% rate, 7% rate, and the total interest is 540. Well, that's how much she's gonna get because
What did we get?
she's putting in money in the bank, gonna make some monies. Well, she's putting it into a CD and a bond. So how much did she put at 4%? Exactly. Say that louder.
X, we would put.
I don't know.
So if you don't know, you put X. No, you don't put your mom. It's somebody else's mom that made a cookbook for and made 11
Why
G's
does
off
she
of it.
make cookbooks? I feel like she can't cook.
Now, if you put X amount into the 4%, how should you put in the 7%? The remainder, which, how do we figure out the remainder? Subtraction.
Subtraction, Brayden. Subtraction.
Brayden, you're becoming Aaron. Stop it.
He makes me feel better about myself now.
You really just can't do this.
It's all your nocturnal activities. It's messing you up.
He's only went
He
out
didn't even.
twice.
Yeah, I only went out once, and I'm great. He didn't even go out last night. He's
I've gone out
garbage.
every night.
Yeah,
I feel terrible.
he is arguably doing better than he is.
So 4% of X, how do we write that?
0.4 times X.
Yeah.
Careful. 0.04.
Yes, because
Oh,
it is.
oh, right.
Because it's
4%, so that's 400. And then 7% of 9,000.
Minus 0.07 X. Oh,
630.
oh, that's it.
630 minus 0.07.
Yep.
Minus- What? Wait,
Wait, how'd you get?
wait, 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 wait.
9,000 times 0.07.
Why did we?
9,000 times.
Wait.
Yes, that's how you find it. Principal times rate. Principal times rate.
Why? Why did you do that times 0.07 and then you subtracted 0.07?
I did the distributive property. 0.07 times 9,000.
Oh, okay. We're
Yeah.
multiplying
Minus
these
X.
together. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yes, we're multiplying here. Like we're multiplying principal times rate.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Okay. Brayden, you have no place to try to explain this.
Now that we have this set up, we're going to use, that's a terrible color
What
to
did you
highlight in.
do?
We're going to use the fact that this has to equal this. So ignore that because that was just to demonstrate where that came from. Everyone smelled Aaron apparently.
Combining those two thingies we just did.
Yeah, we're adding these up and it has to equal 540. So that's negative 0.03x equals negative 90. So x is going to equal 30 with 2 zeros behind it.
What did you explain?
Well, I just solved for x. I combined my like terms here, right?
Yes.
Brought that to the other side. Then what do?
You divide.
Divide by negative 0.03. And you should get 30 with 2 zeros on it. Just use your calculator.
So helpful.
Yeah, we'll finish off Monday. You got 3,000?
No, you put the negative 90 first? Or-
Negative 90 divided by negative 0.03.
Yes, now I know.
Yeah, so x is 3,000, so that means 3,000 at the 4%, 6,000 at the 7%. Work on this tomorrow and or your homeworks.
Are you gonna make more coffee?
What?
Are you gonna make more coffee?
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, could you make it down to